Hello Leo, this is Luna Celestine. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again in this sacred astrological space. As we approach the solar eclipse on March 29th, which coincides with a powerful new moon in Aries, I felt called to create this reading specifically for you. This isn't just another celestial event. It marks the beginning of a potent new cycle, one that invites activation, transformation, and bold forward movement. In today's video, I'll be sharing messages channeled through the energy of this eclipse, woven together with insights from my morning meditation and card pool. What's coming through is deeply personal to the Leo spirit, rooted not just in passion and fire, but in a deeper call to come home to yourself. This eclipse may bring tension, yes, but also a breakthrough that's meant to push you into a new chapter you've long been preparing for. If you've been feeling on edge, caught between release and renewal, or sensing that something big is shifting beneath the surface, then this might be one of the most significant eclipse moments for you this year. I invite you to stay with me through this reading. The guidance ahead is not just about understanding what's happening, it's about stepping into your role as a co-creator with the universe. This eclipse does not arrive as a gentle push from the universe. It comes as a fire starter for the soul. It's not asking for subtle adjustments or quiet reflection. It's igniting something primal within you, something that has long been waiting beneath the surface. This moment carries tension, yes, but also immense potential. And for you, Leo, it's personal. You are being called not just to react to what's unfolding, but to step fully into your role as a conscious co-creator of your reality. You are no longer the observer waiting for clarity or the performer meeting expectations. This eclipse is a line in the sand. What happens from here depends on your willingness to take ownership of your energy, your desires, and your direction. Being a Leo, your natural radiance and inner fire often make you the center of your environment, but this time it's not about how the world sees you. It's about how deeply you see yourself. What parts of your life have felt performative? What have you built around others' expectations or out of fear of disappointing someone? These are the structures the eclipse is shaking at the root. Not to punish, but to free. You're being asked to break away from the version of yourself that was built in survival mode, from stories that are no longer yours to carry. And this won't be a neat or linear process. It may come through discomfort, disorientation, or even a sense of loss. But in truth, what's dissolving is making space for what's real. You're being aligned, not abandoned. In the next part of this reading, we'll move into the messages coming through from Spirit. What needs to be surrendered, where the pressure points are forming in your life, and how this moment of collapse is actually clearing the path for your rise. You are not just meant to get through this, you are meant to emerge from it with new clarity, renewed purpose, and the inner fire to build something real. Let's see what this eclipse wants you to remember. One of the first messages coming through for you, Leo, is simple but profound. Surrender to silence. Right now, your mind may feel overcrowded, layered with noise, past conversations, unresolved feelings, and a constant mental loop trying to make sense of everything at once. And while your natural instinct is to lead, to fix, to push forward, this particular moment is calling you to do the opposite. To pause, to listen, to allow stillness to speak. Silence isn't about doing nothing, it's about creating space. And in your case, it's the space where clarity is waiting to reach you. The answers, the breakthrough, the next steps. They're not outside of you. They've been trying to get your attention, but they require your presence. When you let go of the pressure to figure it all out, when you soften into your breath or into a moment of solitude, you'll begin to notice the quiet nudges from your inner guidance. This eclipse is stirring so much energy within you, and if you try to meet it with force or overthinking, it could feel overwhelming. But when you meet it with stillness, you start to transmute the chaos into clarity. You begin to hear the truth underneath the mental noise. In the next part of this reading, we'll explore where some of this tension might be showing up in your life, through challenge, through emotion, or even through unexpected endings. But know this, your ability to hold silence, to ground into yourself is what will determine how you move through it. Let's look at what's ready to be released and what's preparing to rise in its place. This eclipse isn't just stirring the surface. It's digging into the very structure of what you've built your life around. And for some of you, it's likely that something has already fallen away. Maybe it was a job that once gave you purpose, a relationship that anchored your sense of identity, or a version of yourself that no longer fits the life you're living. What's important to understand is that this loss, however painful, is not a punishment. It's a recalibration. Under this solar eclipse with the new moon in Aries, there's a bold, raw, initiatory energy at play. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It doesn't wait for permission. It clears space. It moves forward. And when paired with eclipse energy, what we get is not a soft beginning, but a catalytic one. One that may feel like collapse before it reveals itself as liberation. Many of you are likely standing in that space right now, the in-between, where the old has crumbled but the new hasn't fully formed. It's disorienting, especially for a sign like Leo, who thrives on purpose, direction, and a sense of center. But this is exactly where the rebirth begins, not with certainty, but with surrender. Not with knowing all the answers, but with the willingness to let go of what no longer holds your truth. And here's what's quietly emerging beneath the rubble: the return of your fire, the part of you that dreams wildly, that creates not to prove something, but because it's who you are. This eclipse is reigniting a part of your soul that may have been dimmed by duty, disappointment, or external expectations. You're not being asked to go back to who you were. You're being invited to reimagine who you can become. In the next part of this reading, we'll move deeper into that activation, what this new cycle might be asking you to initiate, where passion is beginning to flicker again, and how to honor that fire without falling into old patterns of burnout or self-sacrifice. This isn't about rushing into something new. It's about listening to what's waking up inside you and choosing to follow it with presence. There's something happening beneath the surface that your logical mind may not be able to fully grasp right now, but your body feels it, your spirit senses it. This isn't just emotional processing or a shift in mindset. This is cellular, soul deep. You're not just moving through change, you're being transformed by it. Many of you may feel disoriented, ungrounded, or even detached from your old identity. It can feel like you're floating between timelines, unsure of where you land. And in some ways, that's exactly what's happening. Your internal system is recalibrating to match the frequency of who you're becoming. Not who you were taught to be, not who you've had to be, but who your soul has always known itself to be. This kind of awakening doesn't always look graceful. It can show up as fatigue, vivid dreams, hypersensitivity, emotional waves that don't make sense to the mind. Some of you may even be experiencing out-of-body sensations or moments of time distortion, where memories resurface out of nowhere, or days blur together, or you suddenly feel like you're watching your life from a distance. These aren't glitches. They're symptoms of expansion. You are becoming more energetically attuned. You may find yourself feeling everything more intensely, not just your own emotions, but the emotions of others, the energy of spaces, the undercurrents in conversations. You're not imagining it. Your nervous system is opening, and with that comes a new level of perception. Some of you may already identify as highly empathic, but what's unfolding now is something deeper. You're being asked to not only feel, but to learn how to manage and channel that sensitivity into grounded wisdom. And that's where the next part of this journey begins. Because sensitivity without boundaries leads to burnout. Awareness without integration leads to overwhelm. In the next section of this reading, we'll explore how to anchor into this new version of yourself, how to protect your energy, restore your nervous system, and begin to embody the wisdom you're receiving. You're not just being given insight, you're being prepared to hold more light. Let's talk about what it means to live from that place. This eclipse is not asking for perfection, it's asking for participation. You're not being called to have the entire blueprint figured out or to launch something fully formed. What you're being asked to do is begin. To respond to the quiet pull inside you that's been nudging you towards something more meaningful, more honest, more aligned with the life you actually want to live. For many of you, this could look like a creative idea that refuses to go away, a project that keeps returning in your thoughts no matter how many times you try to shelve it, a hobby that brings you peace but that you've never taken seriously, a business idea that feels too far-fetched, too risky, too outside the realm of what you were taught is practical, and yet it keeps calling you back. That's not coincidence. That's direction. And this eclipse is here to remind you that you don't need permission to follow it. You just need the courage to say yes. Maybe you're thinking of launching something from home, selling your handmade creations, sharing wellness practices, building a small online shop, starting a YouTube channel, a podcast, a blog. These don't have to be massive undertakings at first. In fact, they shouldn't be. This is about planting something real in the soil of your current reality and letting it grow over time. It's about taking the vision that's been living in your heart and giving it a place to breathe. But before you do, there's an important piece. Clearing space, not just physically, but energetically. Your environment is a mirror of your inner world. If there's clutter, distraction, chaos, it's likely you're carrying that internally too. So this is a moment to simplify, to clean your workspace, organize your thoughts, set intentions, light a candle and make it a ritual. Meditate not to escape, but to return, to focus, to commit. The more you create order and presence in your physical space, the more magnetic your energy becomes. The more space you create in your mind, the more clearly you'll hear the direction your intuition is giving you. Prayer, journaling, mindful movement. These aren't extra tasks. They're tools to tune your frequency. They help you align with the energy of what you're building so that your actions aren't just effort, but embodiment. Because this isn't just about productivity. It's about legacy. It's about creating from a place of soul, not strategy alone. The energy of Aries, especially under a solar eclipse, is not here for passive dreaming. It's here for bold initiations, the kind of decisions that feel slightly terrifying because they matter so deeply. In the next part of this reading, we'll look at what support is around you, both seen and unseen, as you take your first steps. We'll talk about how to trust the timing of your creative process, how to stay connected to your vision without burning out, and how to make room for the unknown, because what you're building now has the potential to grow beyond what you can currently imagine. But only if you're willing to meet it halfway. You're not just moving through difficulty, you're evolving through it. There's a shift happening in the way you perceive the world, the people around you, and most importantly, yourself. The stories you used to live by, the roles you once played to feel safe, accepted, or valued, no longer feel aligned. And while this can feel unsettling, it's also a sign that you're waking up. You're beginning to see life through a more honest, conscious lens. This transformation isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle. It shows up in the way you pause before reacting, in the boundaries you now honor without guilt, in the moments when you choose presence over perfection. You're starting to realize that your worth is not defined by productivity, approval, or external achievement, but by your ability to be fully in integrity with who you are, even when no one else is watching. And yet, this process can also be deeply vulnerable. As you let go of the old patterns, you may find yourself feeling exposed, unsure of how to move forward. Relationships might shift. Some may grow deeper, others may naturally fade. You may feel a pull away from certain environments, conversations, or even habits that once brought comfort, but now feel heavy. This is not regression. This is clarity. To support this transition, I invite you to sit with the following reflections. Not to find perfect answers, but to create space for your truth to come forward. How have your perspectives shifted recently? Are there beliefs you used to hold about yourself, others, or the world that no longer feel true? Where have you softened? Where have you strengthened? What does self-care truly look like for you in this season? Not as a checklist, but as a way of honoring your nervous system, your body, and your spirit. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's movement, maybe it's silence. Let it be what you need, not what you think it should be. What are the quiet signs that you're getting closer to your true self? It could be a sense of peace in situations that used to trigger you. It could be the confidence to speak your truth, or the courage to walk away from what drains you. These are not small shifts, they are milestones. In the next part of this reading, we'll explore what this new alignment means for the road ahead, because as you release what no longer fits, space is being made for something more authentic to enter. New relationships, opportunities, and experiences that match the frequency of the self you are now embodying. Let's look at what's arriving as a result of your inner evolution. Angel number 3939 is showing up now as a final confirmation. A soft but powerful reminder from the universe. It's time to release what you've outgrown. This number speaks directly to the part of you that's still holding on, out of habit, out of fear, out of the belief that maybe you're not quite ready. But you are. You've done the work. You've moved through the fire, and now you're standing at the edge of something new. Trust and release isn't just a phrase. It's a call to action. It's an invitation to surrender the weight of old expectations, identities, and attachments that have been keeping you tethered to the past. This could be emotional baggage, unresolved stories, or even outdated goals that no longer reflect who you're becoming. Whatever it is, 3939 is reminding you, if it's meant to stay, it won't leave. If it's meant to leave, it won't stay. What's coming isn't here to harm you. It's here to stretch you, grow you, and invite you into a more expansive version of your life. And yes, that might feel unfamiliar or even intimidating, but it is not dangerous. Your nervous system may interpret change as risk, but your soul knows better. This new beginning is safe, it's yours, and it's arriving at the exact right time. So as we close this reading, let 3939 be your permission slip to trust what's unfolding, to release with grace, and to say yes to the life that's trying to meet you now that you've made space for it. As we close today's reading, I want to say this. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident. There's something in you that already knows a new chapter is beginning, even if it still feels uncertain or unfamiliar. This eclipse didn't come to test you, it came to realign you, to bring you back to yourself, stripped of the noise, the doubt, the expectations, and into the fire of your own truth. I know this space of transformation can feel lonely at times, but please remember, you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not late. You're exactly where you need to be, and everything you've let go of is making room for something more meaningful. Let this be a reminder that the version of you who dreams, who creates, who feels deeply, who wants more than just survival, that version is worthy, and that version is ready. Thank you for being here with me, for showing up for yourself in this way. If this message resonated, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what part of this eclipse energy is showing up in your life, what you're releasing, what you're ready to begin. And until next time, be gentle with your heart, trust your timing, and keep choosing the version of you that feels most true. I'll see you soon.